Hello there everyone, my name is Omega Luke of FM Scout, and today I'm going to bring you a brand new series where I basically test some of your tactics that have been inputted onto the FM Scout website. So if you're wondering where to find these tactics, the link will be directly to this one down in the description below, but there is also a link to the FM Scout website where it has all of our tactics that is inputted by people just like you who create a tactic, realize it's quite a good one, and pop it on the website. And that could be you as well, and I could be testing your tactic in a future video. So the aim of this video basically is to highlight this tactic, see if it works, see if it's quite good, and basically see what the pros and the cons are. Maybe the team that you're using right now in your Football Manager save will really suit this tactic. So what I'm really hoping from this series is that I can help you guys out with a lot of these different ideas. I've gone for quite a simple one to begin with, but what I've basically done is I've picked a random team which I think sort of suit the outline of the tactic itself. And I've simulated a season with this team using this tactic. So that is basically what's going to happen. We're going to go forward a season, see exactly how the tactic performed throughout the season, try and delve a little bit more into it. Maybe there were some injuries or something that affected it. Who knows? First and foremost, we're going to have a look at a guy called Trio and his 4-3-3 tactic, and here it is. This is Trio's 4-3-3 domination tactic, and I have picked a team of Wolves for this tactic. And the reason why I have gone with Wolves is that I don't really want to go with like Man City or Liverpool, someone who we know will boss the league anyway. I've tried going for like mid-table, and throughout the season, throughout this series, I'm going to try and go for like lower league sides as well and see how they perform. I really just try and find a team which matches this tactic. So what I've basically done, if you have a look here, Wolves are predicted to finish 9th. So a nice mid-table side in the Premier League. However, when I was reading up about the tactic, he said about having a good deep line playmaker. I thought Ruben Neves would be perfect for this. So that may be something where you can swap those two round. And a good sweeper keeper, and Patricio is just that. So I've basically selected Wolves. This is his tactic domination. So let's have a look a little bit more into it. It is an attacking mentality and of course a very popular formation indeed. But let's dive more into the actual tactic itself. A fairly wide attacking width, passing into space with overlapping runners, playing out of defence. So it's a standard tempo, quite a slow tempo really, because a lot more people are used to a higher tempo. Slightly more direct passing, so eliminating already the shorter game. However, he is working the ball into the box, running at the defence, and that is all that is selected for in possession, as well as low crosses in the final third as well. Just missed that out. In transition then, the Gegenpress press is of course one of the most popular things, and that is what they've gone for. Distribute to the playmaker. So the two playmakers obviously in this tactic so far is that attacking playmaker and the defensive line playmaker, Dendoncker and Ruben Neves as it stands. Hasn't really selected anything else. Out of possession though, is using the offside trap, a higher line of engagement which really suits the Gegenpress, and a much higher line of defence. Using tight marking, preventing the short goalkeeper distribution, and getting stuck in. So I wonder whether that will affect using getting stuck in, whether you could take that off maybe and alter that if you find yourself getting maybe too many yellow cards or anything like that. Defensive width is also narrow. So it's quite a varied formation, very similar to the one I actually did a video on not so long ago on the channel with my AC Milan series that I did. So that is the tactic overall. Wolves are predicted to finish 9th. It is now time for me to simulate one whole season on holiday using this tactic though. So when I do that, just to show you, for instance, I go on my profile, go on holiday, and I will select use current match tactics. When I come back, we will analyse how this tactic has performed and really dive more into it. I'll see you in a sec. Okay, welcome back to the video, and before we look a little bit more into this, if you are looking for some Let's Play action or any more sort of Football Manager content, please make sure you check out my channel. The link is also down in the description. Have a very good Conquering Scandinavia save that you might enjoy. Right, into this then. 7th position in the Premier League. That's not bad. However, I did notice while this was going on holiday, of course, you can see what fixtures is up next. They had higher positions. So what I'm interested in is the previous positions. And to be honest, that's quite unlucky. I mean, Bournemouth is a surprise act up there in the top 6. We are higher than Tottenham, higher than Everton. The rest of the league look quite as usual, what you'd expect. Obviously, Liverpool as champions, Man City up there. 69 points though, just missing out on goal difference from Europe. And I can see there, Callum Wilson has 30 goals this season. So maybe just like some sort of freak season. Yellow cards, we seem to have a lot of yellow cards. So I wonder then, let's go into the team overview. So we've had the most fouls made. So I'm wondering whether Get Stuck In really affected that and really caused that to happen. The fact that we have the most yellow cards. Player detailed, or let's go on overview here. We had the most yellow cards, first and third there, and the most red cards in Matt Doherty, who obviously we're losing starting players from that happening. So this is where we are having a look, and yeah, I was correct. Wolves this season really dropped off at one point and very unlucky, and it looks like the very last game of the season was the only time they dropped out of the top 6. So that's really unfortunate. And to be honest, I'm quite disappointed because I thought I had a killer tactic here for you. At certain points, Wolves were top of the Premier League, and if we have a look there, that is game day 10. Match day 10, they are top of the Premier League. So that's not bad. They actually were top for 4 different match days, dropping off at one point there when they lost in match day 8 against Manchester United. Back up though after beating Villa and then beating Watford. We start slowing down then here, dropping down to 3rd place, all the way down to 6th. But then if you can see, all the way up until the very last game of the season, they continued to be in the top 6 before losing to Chelsea the very last game of the season. So we know suspensions has played a part. Has there been many injuries? I'm wondering whether that's sort of played a part on it as well. So let's have a check on that as well before we go even more into it. So I'm on the medical centre here on injury history and just looking at this season, and we have had quite a few injuries as well where players have been out for a long time. So it does look like they have missed quite a few games, which can affect, of course, league positionings. 3 months out, Jesus Vallejo, who, to be honest, looks like what would be a starting player, maybe in Wolverhampton's side. Willy Bolly, I think, is also a centre-back who starts majority of the game. So that's 2 centre-backs out for 5 weeks and 3 months. That's quite a big deal. Ryan Bennett, does he normally... I think he plays quite often too. Well, he did last year, maybe not as much this year. We also have Johnny. Leandro Tendonka is another player who has missed out on a few games, a starting player as well. So it does look like we have missed quite a few of our players. There is a lot of moderate injuries here, which definitely has affected that. But let's have a look at some of the competitions then. Obviously, that is how they got on in the Premier League. Wolves, as we know, are in the Europa League, and they were actually knocked out in the second round by Manchester United. So quite an unlucky draw to pull Manchester United in the second round. Knocked out in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup by Watford, so they got quite far in the FA Cup. And in the Carabao Cup, they were knocked out in the 4th round by Liverpool, who eventually went on to win it. So they were quite unlucky. Well, as that stands then, I'd say that's quite a successful season if you are a Wolves fan. I mean, gutted to not finish in 6th. If you are a Wolves fan and you watch this throughout the whole season, to be in the top 6 from match day 3 all the way till match day 37, then to miss out on the final day on goal difference would be heartbreaking. But overall it's not too bad, and to be honest, they did quite well in the competitions, even though they never actually won anything or got to any finals. Let's have a look then. Rui Patricio has made the most appearances. Raul Jimenez is up there as well. Goals then. Raul Jimenez scored 31 goals in 56 games. That is a huge amount for this player. Only 13 in the Premier League. Diego Jota is also up there as well, a very good player. 8 goals in the Premier League with 11 assists. Quite a nice, tidy goal contribution rate there. Assist-wise, in total, Diego Jota was the highest with João Moutinho there with 14. Ruben Neves with 11. So that's 2 of the playmakers that we mentioned at the start. And average rating, quite a high average rating for majority of the starting 11 here. As you can see, a lot of the players who have played 30 games plus, 40 games plus, are in the high 7s. Now, to me, that actually suggests that the league final position that Wolves finished does not represent how well these guys have actually played throughout this season in this formation. I know Wolves does have a very good side, and the fact that you could argue that they shouldn't really be predicted to finish 9th after how well they have done last season and the players that they do have, but all the way down to here is when they finally not above a 7 in an average rating, and I think that is very high for a Premier League side outside of the top 6, as you will. So to be honest, I think they're really unlucky. Maybe the suspensions, maybe the injuries really took its toll, as they did the few last games of the season. I mean, if you were to look at here, at this point here, where is the start of the season? So the start of the season, let's have a look at the start of the Premier League season. So that's the top there. What an outstanding first half of the season, all the way up until December. We only have a few losses there, one of them being a cup game there, a Premier League loss to Manchester United 1-0, which was one that we've seen where they dropped from the top to the second position. They didn't take their second loss until a 3-0 loss against Arsenal late November. A few huge wins here where they have scored a lot of goals, and it's easy to see why Raul Jimenez and Diego Jota has scored a lot of goals with a few hat-tricks, even Adama Traore there with another hat-trick. And as we go into December, it's not until late December where we sort of have the start of a bad run. And even then, it's not too bad. We then bounce back with another win against Watford. January overall is quite a good month as well. And this is where it starts. February is where they start dropping quite a lot of points. Even then, that's actually a Europa League match where they overcome Inter Milan with Patrick Cutrone, an AC Milan ex-player. I bet that was nice for Patrick to score a brace to put them through. Even then, so this is where it starts. Late March, early April, that is where the bad stint of run of matches went. They lost 6-1 to Manchester City. Tottenham they dropped points with. Arsenal another 3-0 loss, a bogey team then for Wolves, and a 3-0 loss against Newcastle, which is quite a bad defeat indeed. And they ended the season in May with a 3-1 victory, a 4-0 loss, and a 1-0 loss. And I'm wondering whether that's obviously because they're on attacking. So when it's a really overpowered side like Man City or like Liverpool, they are going to be quite sceptical to conceding quite a lot of goals because they don't really seem to keep a lot of clean sheets. I'm wondering, let's have a look at Rui Patricio, see if he did actually keep any clean sheets whatsoever. So he kept 12 clean sheets. That's still quite high, all things considered. But overall, it was this end period which really cost them. So I don't think really that's the tactic. Maybe more of the case of injuries, suspensions really taking its toll out at the end of the season. But you look at the first half of the season and you can't deny this tactic has done something right. So last thing we're going to have a look at then is what the assistant seemed, because obviously the assistant is the guy who's taken the team, what he seemed as the best overall 11. So it does look like they were playing Dendoncker in that deep line playmaker role with João Moutinho actually as the advanced playmaker. Quite susceptible there. Ruben Neves I would personally have had as one of the playmakers. I think he overall is a better player, but they've got him as the box-to-box midfielder role. Raul Jimenez up top with Diego Jota on the left-hand side and Pedro Neto on the right-hand side. Yoni is a guy who we've seen had of a big injury and quite a lot of yellow cards, so he must have missed quite a lot of games. So it's easy to see why a lot of these players, and Willy Bolly there, another player who missed quite a lot of games, it's easy to see why they might have dropped actually a few points. Overall though, I quite like the look of this tactic, and I'm pretty sure that you would agree. For a side like Wolves, who are not necessarily expected to win the Premier League or to fight against the top of the Premier League, this isn't that bad of a tactic, all things considered. So there we have it then. That is the first episode of Omega Luke's Tactic Tester. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Drop a like if you want to see some more, because I'm quite interested in going through a lot of the tactics on the FM Scout website and really analysing a few of the more unique ones of different formations, really, or maybe some underdog ones. A few of them have been named as that, so I'm quite interested to see what they are like instead of the more attacking ones that I have shown you today. Like I said though, the link to this tactic is down in the description, and if you want to submit your tactic, let me know down in the comments. There is a section, like I said, on the FM Scout website where it actually helps you upload your tactic to the website. Let me know that you've done it. Explain maybe to me a little bit more about that tactic, and maybe even a team that you suggest I use the tactic with for one of these tactic tester videos. So thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the FM Scout channel so you do not miss another video. If it is Let's Play action though you are craving, then there is a link to my channel down in the description. Make sure you come over and say hi. And I shall see you next time for another episode of Tactics Tester. Bye bye.